Good afternoon, Rotarians.
Good afternoon.
Is Emil here? Over here. Emil, you keep switching seats on me.
In line.
Okay. Well, perfect timing. You don't even have a bite yet.
In my mouth. Yeah.
That's right. Emil, if you open us up with the invocation, please.
Sure. Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for once again the opportunity to get together with friends for this meeting. We ask you to bless this fellowship, bless this food to our bodies, send us to your service. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you'll join us in a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for making it today. I believe that we have one and a half. Well, actually, we have a couple guests. So not really officially a guest, but Amanda, do you mind introducing? Thank you.
Oh, I thought you were saying that I hadn't been here so long.
No, but thank you for coming. There are several people who showed up today and were very welcome. Nice full house. Thank y'all for showing up. You were one of them. Thank you for pointing that out. Do you mind introducing someone?
Oh, no, not at all. Here, stand up so that everybody can see. This is Courtney Stonell, and she is our newest chamber team member, but she is our new Keep Lawrence County Beautiful affiliate coordinator, and we are in the process of applying to become a Keep America Beautiful affiliate, which will be Keep Lawrence County Beautiful, and she will oversee litter, beautification, recycling, all of those efforts across Lawrence County. So we're super excited to have this position. It was a partnership between the county, the municipalities, LCD, and city, so we're lucky to have her in place.
Thank you, Amanda. And y'all may see Courtney more because the chamber is now a corporate chamber, so they can kind of have a little more flexibility in regards to attending. Thank you. Eric Delgado, new city manager, thank you for coming again, Eric. Yep. Any other guests that I'm missing? Okay. All right. Thank y'all for coming. You're always welcome. I'm going to call on Heath, even though he's looking straight down at his chocolate cake, to do Happy Bucks. I'm happy to be in Lawrence County and have a good group of friends here, and I'm happy that you did Happy Bucks.
What does this do?
Good the world. Thank you, Heath, for volunteering to do that.
You're welcome.
Worthy cause. I believe we have a couple of announcements. Jim, thank you for that. And I do believe we have someone who's going to come share about what it means to be a Rotarian to them.
That's the right question.
And I believe it's Daniel Epley. Thank you for coming on down because the price is right and your name got called.
Appreciate that, Matt. Most of you know me. I am Daniel Epley. I've been a Rotarian since July of 2019. Yeah, I've got an awesome wife, Summer, and two lovely daughters. Emily just turned 3 Monday, so I got a 3-year-old, and Arabella is 4. I'm the pastor at the Methodist Church. I'm also the president-elect, which I just so happen to put that pin on, just so you know. So I'll be president after Matt. When I came to Lawrence a little over 3.5 years ago, I had no idea what Rotary was. And I had this church member, he's not here. Actually, I had several. Jim did it, John Young, and some others. They were like, you really ought to look into Rotary. And I came a couple of times, and I thought, well, they eat a lot, but what do they really do? And then I realized they do all these great things, like CART, where they raise money to help end Alzheimer's, and where they end polio. We're almost, do you know there's only 2 cases last year of polio? That's awesome. These are things that Rotary is really spearheading. They're the ones leading the charge in this, and it's really great. And not only are they doing these great things in the world, but Rotary is also doing a lot of good here in our own county. Backpacks. Jim's already did an announcement on it. Trust me, I've got a daughter who's at E.B. Morris, and I'm also on the Student Improvement Council at E.B. Morris. Another thing I didn't even know. I know that was a thing, but I'm on it now. Yeah, big for that. But I talked to the principal and the students. They really, really appreciate those backpacks, and they need them. It's a need in our community that we match and that we do. And also, a lot of people don't even think about this, and Brian, I'm glad you're here. We also drive for Meals on Wheels. We have Rotarians who are doing that as well. There's a lot of good that Rotary does. And I mean, as a pastor, don't you want to be a part of something like that? Yeah, I'm just saying, there's this guy named Jesus, who once told us that we should try to do a little good in the world. Let our light shine, be that city on the hill. I'm just saying, and that's kind of what Rotary does. And I'm happy to be a Rotarian because of all the good that Rotary does in the world.
Thank you, Daniel, for that insightful message and giving us a third quick sermon for this week. We actually probably need them 7 days a week, but thank you for giving us at least the third. The next portion, again, is my favorite part because I get to eat. It's always funny because the speaker doesn't know I say that every week. But it is true. But I'm going to allow Leanne to come up and introduce her speaker this week, and it's wonderful to see you.
Glad to be here.
Thank you.
It is good to see everybody. This afternoon, we are going to be speaking with Miss Sharleta Woodall. She is with the Safe Babies Court statewide coordinator for South Carolina Infant Mental Health Association. She's responsible for leading and guiding the implementation of the Safe Babies Court approach in the state of South Carolina. She received her Bachelor's of Social Work at Winthrop University and her Master's in Social Work at the University of South Carolina. She has over 16 years of experience working with children and families. Sharleta has worked at a systematic level, leading and implementing various initiatives across the state of South Carolina. She has worked with government, private, and nonprofit agencies as a social worker in child protective services, family reunification, and also served as an intensive lead therapist for children who are at risk of out-of-home placement. She is a board member for the South Carolina Midlands Mediation Center and has also obtained a national certification for facilitating the caring for our own training of kinship caregivers who are caring for their loved ones. Collaborating and building partnerships are very important to her, and it is essential to her passion of social work and creating systems changes for children and families of South Carolina. Please welcome Ms. Woodall.
Thank you. I am so honored to be before everyone on today. I'm sorry that I am not the Honorable Judge Zimmerman, which we love her so much, and she is so passionate with leading this work in Lawrence County at our Lawrence Safe Baby Court site. So today you've heard about my history, my passion for working with children and families in South Carolina. And just in general of serving, our families in this state. So I am going to, as you all heard, I am with South Carolina Infant Mental Health Association. They're very new to the state. They began in around 2017, where they really focused on promoting and serving nurturing relationships between infants and children. When you hear about the word infant mental health, when you hear about infant mental health, what do you think about when you hear that? Because when I heard it, I was like, I have never heard of infant mental health. Usually you hear, of mental health services, for children or adolescents or even adults. But rarely do you hear about infant mental health. So I just wanted to briefly just talk about why infant mental health is important to this work of Safe Babies Court, and just give you guys a little bit about the why of why we do this work. So infant mental health is really about the social and emotional development of children between the ages of 0 to 5. We really want to focus on, understanding why children express their emotion, how they manage and express their emotions, their early attachments, the relationships that they develop, and the connections that they have, and how they explore their environment and learn. And also, like I said, how they build those close relationships. So early relationships matter, and I really, I think it's very important, and I really love this quote that from Frederick Douglass, because it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And what we see is that we really need to focus on really putting a lot of investment in our young children so that they can become, I always say they are our future. They will be our future business leaders, our future presidents. So we really want to make sure that we're nurturing them, really exploring how to really support them throughout this early part of their lives. So when we think about infant mental health and the practice of infant mental health, these are the three core components that we really want to focus on when we're supporting these children. We really want to be strengths-based, which really means really identifying the strengths of the child, the strengths of the family, instead of looking at the negative aspect, but really focusing on, even though this child may have went through a traumatic experience, what are some things that we can really focus on to help uplift and build this child while they're experiencing this, or how they experienced this. Of course, really relationship focus. So really focusing on the child and parent relationship, how they interact, how the mother or the father spend time with them. There is a video, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but there's a video of a child and a mom interacting. She's playing, laughing with that child, engaging with that child, and you can see that child being very excited and trying to talk and giggle, but as soon as she looks away or starts playing with her phone or playing with something else, the child is looking like, very quiet, like, where are you? You're supposed to be playing and engaging with me. So those relationships and those early connections are very important. And also considering cultural influences. Some areas in, how children are raised are very, very different from the norm of what we expect. So really understanding the cultural differences and how it can influence that child's behaviors. So now I'm going to talk about Safe Babies Court. You're probably like, how does this tie into Safe Babies Court and the work that we do? Like I said, in our Safe Babies Court work, we solely focus on servicing infants and toddlers, so children between the ages of 0 to 3. These children are usually involved with the Department of Social Services, really involved with the Department of Social Services. So when a child is removed from their home, we really work closely with that family to really focus on permanency, getting that child to permanency quicker. But I'll talk more about that. So South Carolina Infant Mental Health, it was, I think, last year, 2020. In October of 2020, believe one of our South Carolina judges went to a conference of 0 to 3, which is our national experts who really focus on early child development and has an infant toddler court program. They attended the conference and was like, hey, we need this in South Carolina. Can we bring this to our state? And our CEO, who is over South Carolina Infant Mental Health, was like, yeah, let me see what I can do, and because we really see that this is a need for our families. So South Carolina Infant Mental Health Association applied for a grant called HRSA, a HRSA grant. And they provided, we worked closely, which we got the grant to host 3 sites. So those 3 sites were Lawrence, Spartanburg, and Richland. And after that, we saw the need that there was a dedicated judge in Orangeburg who really wanted to help support the Safe Babies Court work there as well. So we was able to receive a Rural Innovations grant to help service those families in Orangeburg. So South Carolina Children Advocacy Centers, this is one of our partners, and the one that's located in Lawrence is called Beyond Abuse. We partnered with them, and they house our community coordinator, and we work closely with them to help build that relationship so that they can start building those connections within their community so that we can surround that family with resources. So these are our 4 sites in South Carolina. We are looking at expanding our sites. We have additional grant opportunities that are coming up and that are available. So we are very excited about the expansion of our Safe Baby Court work. So like you say, here is Judge Zimmerman. I know that you guys know her, but she's our dedicated judge. She's our lead judge in Lawrence County, who is very passionate about this work. And then we have our other judges that support her, which is Judge Matthew Turner and Judge Joseph Smithfield. So she is one of our leaders of the Safe Baby Court work. And then we have our community coordinator, who is Zay Sanders. He works, like I said, with Beyond Abuse. But he participated in the National Safe Baby Court Academy. He is also receiving support and guidance of this program that we just implemented in Lawrence County. We really just started receiving cases from our Lawrence County Department of Social Services. So we're very excited. We are in the initial phase of this process, but we're just so excited about the work that we're going to do to support our families. So I love this depiction of Safe Babies Court, and I'm hoping you can see. If not, I can definitely share via email this depiction for you guys. Can have it as a one-pager. But like I said, we really focus on serving children between the ages of 0 to 3. And like I said, these children are under court jurisdiction. These are the only children that we could serve at this time, because what we want to see is that, and what we've seen in other states nationally, is that once these children receive Safe Baby Court services, there is no repeat of maltreatment. So usually the children don't return into the child welfare system because of this program. And I think this is very beneficial to really working on trying to prevent child maltreatment, and really surrounding that family around with community services to be their safety net. Our goal, like I stated before, I talked about infant mental health and child development. It is to advance the health and well-being of very young children. So we want to make sure that we're making sure that children are receiving developmental needs assessments. They're being referred to different screenings, making sure that they're getting their medical screenings, any dental screenings. We want to make sure that we're collaborating with all stakeholders and all partners to make sure that this child is surrounded with all and are getting their needs met. We do, I love this depiction because, as you can see, we have community partners and leaders that we would love to help support this work, be a part, connect us to different resources that weren't available or that we didn't know that could really help support infants and children. As well as we, like I said, we have the judge, our local community partners, and child welfare is very key to this work. So we are working diligently to connect and meet constantly with our child welfare leaders and all of our other departments, like Department of Mental Health. We collaborate with Department of Children Advocacy and a lot of our Department of Health and Human Services areas as well. So this is just a little video that I'd like to share with you all. It's like a 2 or 3 minute video. It's very quick, but this just gives an overall depiction, example, so that you can see an actual family and how all of this comes together. So our Safe Babies Court, I'll just give you a little rundown of the video. So in the video, you will see an actual judge, an actual family who is receiving those services, as well as the actual community who is actually helping support that family. So there is a child-parent child-parent relationship therapist that works with the family. You'll see what we're going to talk about, what I'm going to share with you all soon. The active community team, the child family team, that all comes together to help surround that family around with resources and services and allow that family to, what we know is that the family is the experts in their case. All they need is someone to help guide and coach them into making the decisions. So you'll hear from the family and how they feel, and how there were times where they were like, no, I don't want to do this, but I really feel like I want my child to return to my home. And in some instances, with some of our Safe Baby Court cases, sometimes children don't return with family, but what we want to make sure, because sometimes that's not always the best option, but what we want to make sure is that that child is getting to permanency quicker. And when I mean permanency quicker, either that child is living with or has been adopted by a kinship family or a foster family that they've been connected to within a timely manner, instead of lingering in foster care. Our Safe Babies Court approach, it is recognized by the California Clearinghouse, which is at the Department of the Administration of Children and Families, is a national federal program that helps really service children and families in the state that are involved with child welfare. So this is an evidence-based program that can help support our families in our state. I talked a lot about the judge, the community coordinator, and overall the community in our child welfare. With our Safe Babies Court team and approach, there are 10 components that are very essential to a successful implementation of how this will work with our families. So like I stated, we really need, first and foremost, that solid foundation, that solid relationship between our judicial system and our child welfare leadership system, which you can see, like I stated before, Judge Zimmerman is very passionate about this work. She's attended our national experts, attended conferences with them, and she's very, really believe in that this will help the families in our Lawrence County site. I also talked about our local community coordinator. I like to call it, I don't know if you guys heard, but leading from the middle. So they are our leaders who come in to really help build those bridges and relationships and those connections within the community. So they are out there researching different providers, different resources that will be available and that can benefit our families, bringing them to the table for discussions to talk about how they can support this work in our site. So we also have our active community team. And this team is very important and very essential. This team is a team, like I stated, of community partners. This can be faith-based organizations. This can also be Rotary clubs. This can also be the school system, anyone, or the child development centers that are in the area, anyone who can really support the foundation of this family and really sustaining our program. We also have the fourth component that is called before a removal happens of a child going into care. South Carolina has developed what we call pre-removal conference hearing and post-removal conference hearing. So this is a time where the child and family come together that has a team surrounded by them, and the parents can decide who they would want to participate in that. It can be the foster parents, whether there's kinship caregivers, it can be medical personnel, mental health, anyone who has a significant relationship with that child can participate in these child and family team conferences and hearings. We want to make sure that we have like continuum of services, which is very important. So at the beginning, we want to make sure that that child receives all the services that they need until they become an adult. So really putting together in place resources that are available for these children. And then we have meeting the parents where they are. I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier by saying, you know, the parents are the experts, but we also have to meet them where they are. Some parents are not as passionate about wanting to get their kids back, or some parents are just lost at times and just needs the push or the support. So we have to meet the parents where they are. We also want to make sure, like I stated, of nurturing those relationships and building support. And we want to make sure that that family has family time. So making sure that those children who are between the ages of 0 to 3 are not, of course we understand when there's safety issues, because it's safety first. But in those times where there is not a safety issue, we want to make sure that that family is able to have time to spend with their children. That is one of the key aspects, and even with their siblings. We want to make sure that they can remain connected and still have that bond and maintain those connections. And then we have concurrent planning as well as continuous quality improvement. Like I stated, this program is new to our state, so we're not perfect. There's always things to learn from. We definitely have lessons learned from the other sites that we've had, so we know what we can change in our Orangeburg site. But we want to make sure that we're recognizing that this will be a process to help support our families. And then this is the data. I talked a little bit about how, you know, with other states, what we've seen. And this is what brought this. So like, this is why I was like, oh yeah, this works. Of hearing from other states that children don't return to the child welfare system, which is amazing, because what we see in our state now is a high reoccurrence of repeat maltreatment. Like they're cycling the system, or, you know, they're remaining in care. So some people, what we really want to make sure is that we're responding to ACEs. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but it's called Adverse Childhood Experiences. It ties into, it's a mini assessment that you can do, and I also did it myself, but it really ties into traumatic experiences that children or adults have experienced and how it can affect their health, their medical, physical health. So we also see that a lot of parents are incarcerated. So this program will also help minimize the effect of parent incarceration. So we are very excited and passionate about this program. Also, I talked about how we really want to make sure that those children are getting to permanency quicker, so not lingering in the DSS system, but we really want to make sure that those families are either receiving reunification within a timely manner, and we want to make sure that they are either becoming adopted by a foster parent or a kinship caregiver. And we can see that 83.7% have reached permanency within 12 months. So that's a huge number, what we see. We also want to make sure that this approach is working and that we have the right services and support services available for these families. So you heard one of my passions is very important is partnerships. So this is what we like to call the secret sauce of this program. So really working with our partners, developing relationships, and must I say trusting working relationships, so that we are able to support our children and families. And these are some of the characteristics that we like to see when we're all working together, is making sure that we are solution focused. Also really instead of griping or of course we want to make sure that people express their concerns, and we want to make sure that we're having those healthy conversations, but we also want to be mindful of not suspending judgment on those who might not be as prominent as we are, as the same as we are. We want to make sure that we hold hope, extend some grace is what I like to call it, and keeping the baby at the focus. So really focusing on that child's needs, the baby's needs. They are our future. These little ones are very innocent. They are very vulnerable, and I want to make sure that our partners are strong advocates for these families, and trusting the process, like making sure that sometimes the process is not like a straight line. Sometimes you may have ups and downs and bumps and hurdles to get to where you need to be, but when it's all said and done, it will be worth it. So how can you guys help? I talked about a little bit about how Lawrence Rotary Club can help. If like I said, if you'd like to learn more about how our active community team works, I do have our community coordinator information that you can reach out to. He hosts all of our active community teams. So he is available to share more with you about how you can participate in those meetings. It's not, it's not very time consuming. I think those meetings are held once a month or every other month. But it's really bringing the community together to really educate individuals about the importance of this program. Also advocacy and awareness of this program. We are going to have flyers available. I do have my business card available for you too. But there is extensive information on Safe Babies Court in South Carolina. I'm sorry I wasn't able to bring the flyers, but they can definitely share those flyers with you guys. And also just supporting the sustainability of this program. I wish I would have been able to share like a family story or a family testimony with you, because I know that can, so that you can really see how this program works. But please know that this is an initial phase, but we're so excited to just be able to share with you all on today about Safe Babies Court. And if you all have any questions or thoughts or comments, please share. So I just wanted to say thank you. And I'm sorry that I couldn't get the video to work, but hopefully I can share that at a later time.
I just had a quick question.
Yes.
Was Lawrence County picked because we have such a high need here? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
It was based on several things. Of course, like I said, we wanted to make sure that we had a dedicated judge. So Judge Zimmerman was very dedicated and passionate. Lawrence is one of our communities that really has a lot of some children in foster care between the ages of 0 to 3, and that she's seen come through that really feel like they could benefit from our resources and services. So yes, there is, it was a very high need. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question. Do you have a program for staying in touch with the DSS agents who are right there on the scene? I get the sense that sometimes perhaps we have folks just out of college and don't have a lot of experience, might need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Is there any component here where you can make sure you maintain contact with them?
Oh, yes, sir. What we're doing, especially our agency, I've done a presentation for DSS. I did a lunch and learn for the state DSS partners, but we do have trainings that are going to become available. We have connected with some of our DSS training partners to share. We have an infant mental health foundation certificate training that's being piloted, and we have some of those folks on board. We also want to share we have a facilitated attuned interactions, which is called a FAN training, that can really train case managers and social workers all over on how to really facilitate those conversations and those discussions with parents while they're engaging with parents and the child during those family time visits. So yes, we are trying to, our program, SCIMHA is very, we have trainings available, conferences that are available, and this can be held virtual or in person if they'd like. But yeah, yes, we want to make sure that everyone's educated about infant mental health, because like I told you, I was like, infant mental health. Yeah. Any other?
I have a question. Is there a particular way that the children are chosen to be able to participate in this program?
Yes. So this program is voluntary, but how our process works, these children have to be between the ages of 0 to 3, and they have to be under court jurisdiction. So we've connected with the Department of Social Services, as well as our Guardian Ad Litem program. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention them. Our parents' attorneys, and of course our DSS attorneys. So they, if they know that they're about to petition a child who's about to be removed, they'll make our community coordinator aware. They can submit a referral, or our community coordinator can participate in the probable cause hearing, which is like the initial hearing, like where they start. And then they're there to educate those families about the program and see if they're interested in participating in our program. Yeah. But it's voluntary. Yeah. Any other questions or thoughts, concerns? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking and sharing something I don't know that many of us or any of us knew about that information. So thank you so much. And Leanne, thank you for inviting her to come talk about that. I want to say thank you, Courtney, for coming.
Glad I could be here.
Yeah, and thank you, Eric, as well, for coming. And thank you for those of you who we might not have seen a whole lot in the last. I never know. Kind of, yes. Thank you for coming, JD.
Thanks, man.
So thank you all for coming, and if we'll stand and do our four-way test and our motto. Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And our motto?
Service above self.
Serve and change lives, Rotarians.